What's up, friends? I'm about to drop some real wisdom on you guys today, so prepare yourselves. I've been traveling for over 10 years now, and I thought I would share with you 10 things that I've learned about the world during this time. Now, there are, of course, many more things that I've learned, so much so that I wrote an entire ebook all about how to travel, full of my best tips and advice. Links are in the description to check that out. And before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more travel advice and adventures. Citizenship is the biggest privilege you have as a traveler. The passport you will hold will greatly determine the difficulty and expenses of your travels. If you are fortunate to hold a powerful passport, that means that you rarely have to think about visas or travel restrictions. And chances are that your currency might be stronger. There are many Americans that have been to every country in the world, but how many South Africans or Vietnamese? It's unfortunate that this is the case, but if you do have a weaker passport, don't let that discourage you. Just be aware that traveling will be more challenging. Travel isn't a competition. It seems that some people travel just so that they can brag about being to the most amount of countries, the most exotic places, or going on the most extreme adventures. And I'll admit that social media has been a bad influence in this regard. Getting an epic Instagram picture in an exotic location is fun, but it shouldn't be your only motivation to travel. Travel to learn, travel to experience different cultures, or just travel to relax on a beach and de-stress. Whatever you do, don't just go to a destination because it's trendy and popular. Travel for yourself and do what makes you happy. The travel industry is evolving, and so should we. Travel hasn't always been good. It's brought a lot of bad things to local populations and the environment, from pollution and waste to higher rents and unaffordable housing, to visitors disrespecting cultures and people, and so on. The industry hasn't been perfect, and as travelers, neither have we. But the industry is learning, and it's seeing the devastation it's caused, and it's evolving because you, the traveler, are asking for it. We are learning from our mistakes, and when we start traveling again in 2021 and beyond, we should try to be more responsible travelers. There's more and more information about ethical and eco-friendly travel that will hopefully be a part of all travel going forward. It's way easier to travel now than it was even just a decade ago. My first travels were in 2010, and I had no smartphone to Google my way to places, to look up time when things opened, or to purchase tickets online. There weren't countless blogs and websites and other resources about getting to places or making the most of my travels. What was once a bold, daring adventure to an exotic place 15 years ago is now a package tour. Today, there's so much more information out there, and it can actually kind of be overwhelming. So be thankful that it's gotten easier and that you have all these resources available to you, such as my ebook. Life is short. Go travel. Coronavirus has taught us many things, and when it comes to travel, it's a privilege to be able to visit a foreign country when we can. And as we've seen, you don't always have that privilege. If you put off traveling until you're retired, or until after you bought that house, or for any other reason, you aren't guaranteed to still have the opportunity to do so. This is why I always advocate to travel when you're young and to travel throughout your life. The world changes, borders close, things come up, and our own lives can change at any moment. The places your parents visited or even your friends might be very different to when you visit. So travel shouldn't be something you do after, because you might never get the chance. Bad things can happen when you travel, but chances are they won't. Now, I'm not referring to missing a bus or a plane or getting scammed out of $50. I'm talking about the really bad, scary, and dangerous stuff that you see in the movies or on the news. Taken. These things really don't happen as much as some people might have you believe. The media always sensationalizes these stories, and you won't hear about all the millions of people that have perfectly safe travels. Yes, bad things still happen, but the odds are in your favor that it won't happen to you. And you should never let the fear of the what-ifs stop you. Try the food. I know it's easier to save on your budget by making your own food. Pasta at the hostel, anyone? But a big part of experiencing and learning about another culture is by trying their different foods. If you just continue to eat all of the foods that you normally would eat at home, you really are missing out on a huge opportunity to try something new and to experience the world in a different way. Even if your budget is limited or if you have dietary restrictions, make an attempt to at least try something. People are mostly really nice. This might sound silly, but I think that more people need to remember this. The fact is that most people around the world are going to be more than happy to help you out if you have a question about directions, a good place to eat, or anything else. Don't be afraid to talk to a stranger or ask them a question. If you're polite to them, they'll most likely be very happy to help you out. You really can get by with just speaking English. This really does speak to the privilege of being a Western traveler. Most of the world has learned to cater to us, especially when it comes to language. I still always recommend learning at least the basic greetings, some simple phrases, a please, a thank you. Google Translate has also been a lifesaver on more than one occasion, but it still surprises me on how many people around the world speak English. Don't judge a person by their country. So I might have stole this point from my collab with Nomadic Matt, but it was just too good to not include here. It's that people are not their governments, which just means that you can't assume anything about a person based on where they are from and what their current government is. I think that most of you watching wouldn't want to be defined as a person based on the decisions your country makes, because governments are temporary and there is so much more to a country than what you hear in the news and their politics. So I hope you've gotten some value out of these lessons and that they help you with your future travels. If you want more travel tips, go check out my ebook. Links are in the description. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you again soon.